What's up, beautiful humans? Dan here, coming at you from beautiful Cabo, Mexico. Oh, can we focus in on that? There we go. Woo! Looking good, Cabo. I am here for, well, I was supposed to be here for work, but I missed a flight. Well, I missed a flight. A flight got canceled, and so I ended up doing a few days work with a client in LA, and now I've come here for a mastermind. I was only coming to the mastermind because I was going to be here for the one-to-one work. Anyway, long story short, I'm here in beautiful Cabo, and I've just been working with a few clients that are talking about coaching models, and it made me want to shoot this video to talk about what I believe is the 3 best coaching models for coaches, consultants, kind of agency owners to think about in 2023 and beyond. Now, I'll start out by saying this is super clickbait. There is a million models that you can use when it comes to your business and figuring out how to monetize your expertise online. But there are 3 that I believe in deeply enough to kind of adopt myself and also recommend to clients. Because one of the things that I've noticed, not only noticed, but experienced firsthand, is that most people are even at least just a little bit unhappy with their business model. There's a sense that maybe even when we look back to the business we had 6 months ago and look back to the empty calendar, or maybe even look back to the profit margins we had and go, man, I wish business was still like that to a degree. Maybe it's not that things were better in the past, it's just that we're continuing to delay our gratification to a point down the future, right? Business might be hard in the sense that you're looking at your bank account and you're not making as much money as you'd like to make. Maybe you're spending all day in the DMs, or you're looking at your calendar and you're on calls and you're not spending the time with the loved ones that you want to be hanging out with. Or maybe it's literally a sense of freedom. Like you were just chained to your desk, you're chained to your laptop, you're on team meetings, you're on client calls, but you're convincing yourself, like so many of us can, that the future is going to be better than the present. Oh, if I just get to 50K a month, 100K a month. And I'm challenging this kind of thinking because that was how I thought for a long time as well. So I finished up being a pastor, as many of you know, and I stepped into this everything for everyone agency model. And I went from there to focusing in on just working with coaches, and then went from there to just focusing in on working with coaches, but through coaching, right? And over time, I was constantly iterating, looking for this ideal business model. And it took me, just this past week, I've celebrated 5 years in business, which I don't know if it's a long time or a short time, but it feels both in some ways. I feel both very new. I have so much to learn. I'm still a student in this space. And also, I feel like 5 years kind of working with the same group of people feels like a long time. Regardless of the highs and the lows, it's always been the sense of me trying to tweak the business to really figure out, well, I guess we'll answer this question, am I building my business around my life or my life around my business? And for a long time, I really didn't know what I was trying to do, to be honest. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges that so many people face is if you would ask them, like, what are you optimizing for? What are your goals? What problems are you trying to solve? I think many times we're just kind of on this treadmill. And at some point, we got this treadmill and we're walking on it, and us and other people have been pressing the incline up, pressing the speed up. We're just kind of walking. And after a while, we don't even know where we're going. We don't even know what we're trying to do. There's just this sense that we don't like the pace. We don't like the direction. We don't like the destination. And for many people, it's just this ache in their soul that something is off and they don't really know what it is. And so that's why I want to talk about business models today. Is there is nothing more important in terms of liking the business that you run, not just wanting to run away from it, and also getting the profit and the time and the freedom that you want, than the business model that you choose. And so here are the 3 that I think are the most important to consider if you are a coach or consultant, so I'm trying to monetize the expert online. Model number 1 is, doesn't have a fancy name, literally model 1. And this is if you're optimizing for like 50K a month in profit. Very important distinction, 50K a month in profit. So this first one is how I would structure it, is it would be one-to-one coaching offer. And I'm gonna explain why one-to-one coaching towards the end of the video, but just stick with me. So if you're optimizing for 50K a month profit, what I would do, and regardless, just to be clear, even if you're optimizing for more than that eventually, if you're not at 50K a month profit, I would do this, okay? Is one-to-one coaching offer, and this is gonna be you, a virtual assistant, and a few softwares. So we're keeping things extremely lean. Now, you might be saying, what would that one-to-one coaching offer entail? Well, if it's anything like me, it can be very simple and very focused. So there's like a curriculum that you kind of teach out of and you could reference. There is maybe a group call. There is a group Slack channel for kind of the different people that are involved. So it's like a one-to-one offer with group support. And then there might be a 1-hour onboarding call to work with your one-to-one client, and then 2 30-minute calls a month. Something really simple like that. And so it could be you, a virtual assistant, a few softwares, And how you get clients at this model would typically be one channel, right? So I would define one channel as like Facebook profile. Now the caveat here is I found email to work amazing at every level. It's just that typically as you grow the email list, you don't need to create different content just for email. You just use it as a different distribution channel for the same content, if that makes sense. So as you build out your email list, you might post something on your profile, and to make sure everyone gets it, you also post it in your email. So that's kind of what I would think for 50K a month profit in model one. So you've got Facebook profile, maybe you've got a Facebook group, maybe you've got an Instagram profile, maybe you're focused on Twitter, but the point is that you only have one channel that you are focused in on. Now you might be saying, well, what the heck? Like I've got 3 channels right now and they're all going great. Well, if you're not at 50K a month, that might be the reason why. Is that oftentimes it's just much harder to do more across different channels. Even if there's kind of a copy and paste element, it's very hard to build trust, build authority, build an audience on more than one channel at the same time with no team to support you in that. So one channel plus email, you, a virtual assistant, a few softwares, really simple one-to-one offer. And then at this point, you can get to 50K a month profit, depending on your price point, with 20 to 40 clients. Just think about this for a second. If you are charging $1,200 a month at 40 clients, oh my gosh, I'm doing the math here, 40 clients, that's gonna be like $48,000, right? So you're gonna be just shy of that, for example, but let's just say that's the 50K a month profit, right? 48,000. You're paying your virtual assistant $1,000 to $1,500 a month, depending on where you're at. Like for me right now, I'm closing in on 100K a month profit. Probably in the next 45 days, I'll hit that, and it's just me and a part-time VA. Right? So I'm really pushing this model one. But the point is that once you do the math of what each client is worth to you per month, then you times that amount to the goal that you want, and that's the amount of one-to-one clients you're going to need in this particular offer. So it's really simple, really lean. And so again, it might be 20 on the low side if you're charging like 2,500, 2,600, 3,000 a month, which for some of you might blow your mind, but it's 100% possible. Or it might be on the higher end of clients if you're on the lower end of pricing. And then this offer is going to be sold via sales call or DMs. Now let me just refresh your memory here for a second. Your goal is 50K a month profit. To do that, you need one really good, easy to sell, simple to deliver, one-to-one coaching offer. Now I'll share more at the end why I believe so strongly in one-to-one. Second thing, in order to sell that offer, you choose to have one channel that you focus all your freaking energy on. You're not trying to be focused on 10 channels, you're taking all your time and energy and you're building an audience, what we call a community funnel, on one channel. And then you duplicate the content you're posting on the channel and you build an email list and then you distribute it via email as well. It's also important to note at this level, you don't necessarily need ads. For some of you, depending on the platform you're on, you might, like Instagram is extremely hard to get to 50K a month profit just organically. It's very hard to get followers just organically for free. But most of you will not need ads for a really long time. And maybe, like for me, I'm not running any ads at all. So you got one offer, one-to-one offer. You're using one channel to get clients. I was trying to think of what I was saying. One channel to get clients plus email, right? We're just distributing the same content across that. And then we're selling that either via sales call, which most of you will be familiar with, or via direct message sales, which some of you won't be familiar with. I'm not going to go into that. If you want me to break that down in another video, comment below, let me know. But basically, that's how I sell. So if you're ever kind of in my world, you're reaching out for information, you would see that firsthand. And it's just very simple. There's just kind of like a strategic PDF we see in a couple of questions. There's nothing magic about that process, FYI. If someone is trying to claim that there is a super crazy system to sell without a sales call, either it's too much work or it doesn't exist. The best sales is great marketing and a great offer. But that's aside. And then from there, you're going to have 90% plus margins. The only costs at this stage of business with this model, you should have a virtual assistant and a few softwares. Now, there's a ton of mistakes that people can make at this level that undermine their ability to get to 50K a month profit, right? The first is having too many offers, right? And so you have an upsell and a downsell and a cross-sell, and you're wondering why you're not selling. And the reason is because a confused prospect says no. And so if you are marketing all these different offers, and you're trying to sell all these different offers, and you're trying to deliver all these different offers, you're spreading yourself too thin, you're confusing your market, and that's why you're not growing as fast as you want. But the second reason is because you typically try and do too much marketing too fast. And so we look at the Gary Vee, the Alex Hormozi, and we go, goodness, I need to be doing shorts, I need to be on TikTok, I need to be writing tweets, I need to be creating amazing YouTube videos. And all of those things are true at different levels, and then we'll cover some of that in Model 3. But for you right now, sweetie pie, for you right now, you do not need to be focused on that. It needs to be one channel. And the third thing is that you bring on team members too early, too soon. You bring on the wrong people, you put them in the wrong seats, or you just hire the right people at the wrong time. And what's really important about this is you can truly get to 50K a month profit as a solopreneur with a virtual assistant. And that might be really crazy to think about, but again, come back to the math. If each client is worth to you between, let's say, $1,200 a month and $3,000 a month, we've got clients that charge $5,000, $10,000 a month, depending on their level of expertise in their audience. You do not need very many clients to get to that number. And again, if I can remind you of that one-to-one coaching model we talked about, where it's, let's say it's 2 30-minute sessions a month, that's only 1 hour of delivery per client that you're working with. And so I had a guy the other day lighting me up in my DMs. He's like, hey dude, none of this makes sense. I think you're a scam artist. How could you be making this much money with one-to-one coaching and working this little? It doesn't make sense. And I was like, my brother, can you do addition? Right? No, I don't even know if it's addition. I think it's multiplication. But it's literally, one client equals 1 hour of delivery per month. And then we have some group elements where everyone's covered and 90 minutes a week. And then we have a Slack channel. But literally, for every client that I work with, it's about 1 hour a month. And so you do that math and you go, okay, not only am I hitting 50K a month in profit off, let's say, 30 to 40 clients, but then I'm also having to work very little because each client is only worth 1 hour of delivery a month. And so you split that up across weeks, right? And let's say there's 30 clients at 30 hours a month, right? Because each client is getting 30 minutes each. And so now you're breaking it down. You're coaching for like 7.5 hours a week, and you're making more than you're making a top 1% income globally. Pretty wild. But that's why I recommend this model, because a lot of people are out there trying to get rich with $97 a month things with very small audiences, and they're wondering why they're not making any sales. They're also trying to charge $15,000 for programs, done for you ads and funnels and things like that. And all of those things can work, do work. They're just really hard. Typically low margins, big teams, complex, all of that. So model number one, to 50K a month profit, one offer, one channel, 20 to 40 clients depending on price point, 90% margins to hit 50K a month with just you, a virtual assistant, and a few software. So that is model number one, tier number one. Once you've done this level, the second model that I suggest is that you then duplicate yourself across different roles. So again, one thing that's really important is you have, at this level, a main one-to-one coaching offer again. But the second thing you might consider adding in is, because we're gonna hire a coach to help support you in the delivery of that one-to-one, is you might then create a tier above it, which is only for people at like a certain revenue level if you're a business coach, or only for a certain echelon of people. That becomes premium one-to-one. It's charged much more. Like literally the discrepancy should be something like it's $3,000 to join my program where you get coached by someone else, or it's $10,000 a month to be coached by me. You want to create a really big discrepancy, and that's the value proposition, right? Is again, hey, you've got this model, and it's let's say it's $10,000 across 4 months to get coached by someone else. It's one-to-one, or you can have the same model, but you work with me, and that's going to be $30,000, right? So again, 2 offers at this point. Very simple delivery. It's just someone else coaching for you, or someone else getting coached by you, okay? And then from there, you're going to have team-wise, it'll be you, a virtual assistant, a setter, and a closer, and a coach, right? So again, let me go through that again. You, VA, coach, setter, closer. So there's 5 people total, and this is for the 100K a month profit model. I should have been clearer about that. 100K a month profit model 2. And the thing that you might be able to get away with is if you don't sell via sales calls, you only need 4 people. So you got the coach, VA, and then you, and then a setter, closer, right? So there's only going to be 4 people on the team as opposed to 5, because you'd be closing via DMs, not via sales calls. So that setter closer would be like a chat closer, if that makes sense. At this point, you want to be adding in 2 really important elements to your acquisitions. You're still going to have the community funnel, right, which might be on Facebook, might be on Instagram, might be on Twitter, and you're going to have email. So that's what we had in model 1 for the 50K a month profit. But for 100K a month profit, we're going to add in 2 massively game-changing strategies. Okay, you ready? We've got the community funnel. We have the email. Now we're going to add in YouTube and podcast. Now, for some people, depending on the momentum, I might recommend that they start sooner with YouTube and podcast, because it is such an amazing tool. Hopefully, if you're watching this, you understand the effect that something like this would have for your business. But it's still really simple, right? We're not going crazy with being on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram and all these different channels. Community funnel plus email, YouTube podcast. Very straightforward. At this point, we will also introduce ads. But if you're following a system like ours, the ads might just be simple retargeting ads. You might not need to be spending 10, 20,000 a month trying to get strangers to come into your funnel. You might be able to grow at this point just with the momentum you're generating organically, and then you're just using simple retargeting ads to, send people back to your content or send them a booking link and so on and so forth. So at this point, to get to 100K a month in profit, again, do the math with me. So 50K a month, right, might be like kind of 20 to 40, depending on the price point. At this point, it's going to be 40 to 80 clients that you're going to need to hit that 100K a month in profit. Again, you want to figure out what the price point is, what is going to be the right amount to charge. For me, I've charged as low as $1,000 a month when I first got started, and now I charge significantly more than that. And so what you want to do is figure out as you scale, it might not just be about keeping the price the same and simply getting more clients. It might be about going into the upper end of a niche or actually improving your skill set to the point that you can charge more money. But at this point, you're not necessarily going to need more than 60 or 70 clients to get to that 100K a month profit. And then again, this can be sold either via sales calls or DMs. I'm hoping that you're tracking with this. I'm trying my best to kind of break this down. So model one, right? One offer, you and a VA, some softwares, one channel plus email, very simple, very straightforward, 20 to 40 clients to get to 50K a month in profit. To get to 100K a month in profit, right, there are some nuances here. It's not complex or stressful, but it is a level up. You've got the main one-to-one coaching offer, which will be delivered by a coach instead of you. Then you've got a secondary premium one-to-one offer that can be delivered by you, but for significantly more money. And then from there, you're going to have team-wise, you, VA, coach, setter, closer. Or if you're closing in the DMs, it's you, VA, coach, setter, closer, right? It's like this one person here. And then at this, you're going to have probably less margin. Obviously, you've got team members now, you're running some ads, but you should be shooting for 75% plus margins. So first model, 90% plus margins. Second model, 75% plus margins. Number three is kind of like the scaling model. Some of you would be like, goodness me, I thought we were scaling at this point. We're making $1 million a year. And the reality is that, yes, of course you are, but this is the next model where it's like, you might be trying to get to, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a month in profit. You might be trying to get to 8 figures. And this is the model that I would kind of suggest for those people. So what's really important is that at this model, anything goes, right? But assuming you want to have, let's say, a business like mine that's lean, mean, the team isn't too big, it's simple, it's fun, you get to do stuff with your life outside of business, your business doesn't become your life, then this is what I would suggest. So firstly, you would have low ticket workshops and products on the front end, right? That's a way to generate customers, and then your goal is to turn those customers into clients. So at this point, you might be running $97 a month memberships. You might run like some one-off workshops, maybe it's $150 or $450 to solve a specific problem for someone, to get them interested in your world, buying your stuff, so you can then turn those customers into clients. From there, you've got the main one-to-one, or maybe at this point it's evolved into a group coaching offer that's going to be delivered by someone else, like not just one coach, but multiple coaches, because the number of clients you're going to need is going to be significantly more. Then you might also have premium coaching for higher tier clients delivered by you, where it's significantly more expensive. At this point, and this is what's really important to know, at this point you are going to need multi-channel redistribution of content. But think about the numbers I'm talking about here. This is like 100 to 200K a month profit plus. This is the scaling model. I would only suggest people who are at this model or trying to get to this level are actually doing multi-channel redistribution of content. In other words, that means you're creating content and it's going everywhere. You're on LinkedIn, you're on Twitter, you're on Instagram, you're on TikTok. I'm not even saying you need it. I'm saying this is going to be something you need to consider. Listen, if you're at 10K a month or 20K a month and you're trying to be everywhere in your content, this is a huge mistake and completely unnecessary. I'm talking about the clients I advise that are like at 8 million, right? That are at 6 million, that are at 10 million. And this is what I'm talking to them about. I'm not taking someone who's at 30K a month and saying, hey man, you need to be on TikTok and Instagram, and no way, okay? But at this level, to get to model 3, that scaling model, you are gonna need multi-channel redistribution across a lot of different things. And you're looking at, obviously, ads driving it, right? Then you've got lots of content channels and just really substantial content redistribution. Like we are talking Reels, Shorts, TikTok, email, YouTube, podcast, Facebook, Instagram, etc., etc., etc. At this point, you're looking for like market domination. The team, and again, this could look like anything depending on your price point and how many clients you're going to need, but the team is likely going to look like you, a virtual assistant. Right at this point, you're probably going to have an ops manager, so that virtual assistant might get an upgrade, 3 coaches, 2 setters, and 2 closers. And again, this could look like anything, but this is just in my experience kind of what our business look like when we're in this range. before we simplified everything. And a lot of what our clients' businesses look like is you want to keep it as lean and as simple as possible, because the biggest mistake people make here is they just keep growing, they keep adding team members, and they just basically make the same amount of profit no matter how much business they grow or how much business they add and how much revenue they grow, because they're not simplifying things as they go. They just keep adding people, keep adding expenses, and losing money on the way. So I'm hoping this is helpful. I'm hoping for some of you it's maybe challenging some beliefs, because I know for some of you you're at 20K a month or 50K a month or 80K a month, you're not making the money you want, you don't have the freedom you want, and you've got all these different offers and funnels, and you're going, screw you, Dan, like you're saying this is easy, 50K a month, me and a VA, I could never, but I want to challenge your thinking. You know, for me right now, I'm at about $70,000 to $75,000 recurring revenue a month. My goal is to hit $100,000 recurring revenue in the next 45 days. And I'm doing it with just me and a VA 20 hours a week. Those are literally my only expenses. Me, VA, a couple of softwares. I actually have no interest to go to Model 2 right now in terms of adding a setter, closer, coach, and things like that. I'm pushing this Model 1 as far as I can. So for some of you who like the sound of Model 1, with it being lean and simple, but want to go, hey, I want to make more than 50K a month of profit, it's possible. I'm just telling you kind of some general numbers and figures that I've seen work best for people. But regardless of where you're at, and regardless of what model you choose, it is important to be intentional about the model you choose. For too many people, they're sleepwalking through life, they're sleepwalking through business, they're just going along with the flow. They're that person on the treadmill with the button, increasing the incline, increasing the speed, just going. And it's important to like slow down and just ask yourself, like, what am I building a business for? What's the goal here? What am I optimizing for? What problem am I trying to solve? And then build a business that reflects those goals rather than one that just reflects your environment, right? The pressure from other people, the social pressure that we see other people doing this, so we may as well do it as well. Most of the scaling bros that I know that are just adding team members and adding funnels and going go, are also the ones coming to me because they're unhappy. Also the ones coming to me because they're unfulfilled. And so I really want to challenge and encourage you that wherever you're at in your business journey, to just like slow down for a moment, catch your breath, right? Ask yourself, you know, what might my intuition be saying to me right now around what I should be doing and focusing in on, and then build a business model that reflects the type of business and life that you want to create, not just the one that someone is prescribing to you through a webinar or through a coaching program. So I'm hoping this is helpful. Whether it's Model 1, 50K a month profit, basically one offer, one channel, VA softwares. Whether it's Model 2, 100K a month profit, two offers, one delivered by another coach, one delivered by you, one channel plus YouTube podcast, VA, setter, closer, coach. Or whether it's Model 3, bit more complex, right? Still as simple as possible, kind of scaling to the moon. Whatever you choose, I just hope that you do choose one, rather than just just letting one choose you and just going with the flow. So I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. If you did want to hear or did you want to see me break down the kind of how do I sell without sales calls process, more than happy to do that. Let me know below, and I'll catch you in another episode.